Yo, what's good? This Yusuf. This gonna be for my people going through change. Alright. Before I tell y'all how to really go through change in the best way, I'm gonna break down to y'all what change is. And you might think you know what change is. You think you know what change is, but I'm gonna tell you what change is for real. Change comes through stages. Stage one of change is gonna be the death. It's gonna be the ending. Every form of change really just got that depth to it. That's really what it is. And it starts there. You would think it starts from something being added into your life, but not really. Think about a relationship. Let's say that somebody was, let's say a relationship ends. The change is that something just died there. And let's say that a person was to enter your life. In the same way, let's say you enter a new relationship. Your single life, that phase of your life, that season, just ended. So it all starts with the death. You feel me? You go through the ending first. So understand that it starts with death. It starts with the ending. Stage two. That's gonna be the void. The void. What is the void? Void is like, that's that moment where like you really feel like you dealing with it for real. Like it's really hitting you. Like you got the depression, you got the anger, you got the sadness, you got all these feelings just building up inside of you. You're going through the void. That's what the void is. The void is that one part that people really don't want to go through for real. That's why people really, they don't really accept change like that. They don't want to change because they don't want to go through that stage. You feel me? Stage three. The new beginnings. What is new beginnings? That's when something really adds to you. Like I said, first you're gonna lose something, but then when all is said and done, once you really go through the change for real, the real part, the end game of it all is that you gain something. Something begins. Something really brings forth. And that could be physical, could be a person, could be a relationship, could be you in school. I don't know what it is for you, bro. But mostly it's gonna be internal. That's really what change is. Change is working on you, but it's working on your inside. You feel me? It's working on your spirit. So just know that it's all really coming together to really build you up in the end. And I know that change can be rough. I don't know what type of change you're going through, bro. I don't know what's going on in your life, what type of change, what type of situations, what type of circumstances, whatever obstacles. But it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. Trust me, it's gonna be okay. All right, so that's what change is. What's next? I'm gonna tell y'all how to deal with it, how to really go through change in the best way. All right. Step one. Change the perspective. You gotta change the perspective of the change. You gotta change the perspective of how you viewing your life. What do I mean by that? Let's take a person, right? Let's say we got this one person, and throughout their youth, they've been moved around from like country to country, school to school. So they always losing. They always going through change constantly at a young age. Maybe they lost a parent. Maybe they lost some family. Who knows? But there's different ways that they could be looking at it. Way number one, they could be saying, man, my life is awful. My life is terrible. Life just been hitting me rough. I don't know why this would happen to me. They could say that. They could really say that. Or they could say it in a different way. They could be like, a lot of things happened to me. I had to overcome a lot. I had to be strong. And even though all that adversity came to me in the end, I became a better person in the end. I became who I am today. You gotta change up the words a little bit, change the perspective. It's about how you look at it. Next part to that. I'm gonna tell y'all, separate. All I mean by that, take advantage of the time that you got with yourself. Take advantage of your alone time, right? A lot of people, they ain't that comfortable with themselves to where they can really just be alone. They ain't that comfortable to where they can just be with them and have a good time. And you can be evidence of that. I got proof that you probably doing that right now, or just in general. Every time you get alone, or every time you get a moment to yourself, what is it that you try to do? You try to fill in the gap. You try to fill in the time by doing something else. For example, you may pick up your phone and just start scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through TikTok, going to Netflix, going to Hulu. You may do that, and it's because you ain't comfortable with just being and just being present and just being with yourself. You gotta just Learn to take advantage of that alone time. And when you do be alone, when you do get alone, start trying to self-evaluate. Start trying to, you feel me, try to figure you out, trying to figure out how you feel. And a big part of that is grief. That brings me into the next part, grief. You gotta go through grief. You gotta go through grief. I'm gonna show you why. Grief is you letting go. Whenever you don't have the grief, you still holding on to those past feelings, those past emotions, to what happened to you. You gotta let go. And grief enables you to do that. You gotta go through the grief. You gotta release. You gotta release. See, I go ahead, go through the grief. Grief is very important. You got to. There's so many people, how we're taught to live. We just taught to just keep going and just really ignore how we feeling. I'm telling you, tap in. Tap in. You ain't got to be telling everybody your business. That's why people like to rant so much. But just figure you out, bro. Just try to go through the grief. Try to go through the emotions. Next phase. This part really brings all this together. What I'm telling you, it brings it together. Write it down. You got to write it down. Start writing. Go grab a pen, go grab a pencil, get to writing, bro. And I'm going to give you a few questions, and I want you to answer these questions. How do you feel? What have you gone through? What change have you experienced? What change do you want? You feel me? You got to figure you out, man. Start writing down how you feeling. Start writing it down. Start writing down the circumstances. It's all about you, bro. So yeah, write it down. I told y'all about grief. Understand that with change is a death, and it's like a birth. Death and birth. You're born and you die. A wise man once said, I die every day. I die every day. You got to, bro. You got to. In the same way that you wake up and you go to sleep, you born and then you die again. Understand that change is gonna be like that. Change is gonna happen. Change has gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Change is forever gonna be a part of life. Look at nature. It's evident through everything that we see. Look at nature. It's changing constantly changing, constantly growing. And change is necessary for your development. It's necessary for your growth. You feel me? If everything were to stay the same, what happens when things stop moving? Death. That's true death. You dead, for real. Because like you ain't doing no more, but you gotta keep changing. You gotta embrace the change. Change is gonna happen. You're gonna enter a new stage of your life, and it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. You're gonna go through change. It's gonna happen, bro. So embrace it and start loving on the change. Start to really, you feel me, like tap into you, and have faith through the whole process. Because I can promise you that all the change that's happening to you is happening to you for a reason. I promise you. It's not because it's just, change ain't just happening because it's just trying to affect you. Like, nah, it's trying to help you grow. It's trying to help you mature. It's trying to help you become a better person. It's working on your spirit. It's working on your insides, for real. And have faith. Have faith in God, bro. Have faith in the Most High. Trust me. Trust me. I heard that God got plans to prosper you, not to harm you. You gotta have faith, though. Faith is gonna be necessary. It's gonna be necessary. Trust me. That's all I got for y'all, bro. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's Yusuf, and I'm out.